I got another Omni haul for you guys. This one's Marvel and Indie. Stick around to see what I got. What's going on, everybody? I am Matt, aka the boy who had 7. Like I said, I've got some more Omnis to share with you. Again, these are some that I've picked up over the last couple of months, and I wanted you guys to see what I got, what I'm super excited about, and I need your recommendations for more. Last few couple videos that I've done Omnis, I think I've told you guys I'm getting rid of all my raw books, like all of them. I'm not gonna have any raw books anymore, and all I'm gonna keep are my slabbed books. But because of that, I need the stories that I'm getting rid of because they're incredible, and I want to be able to continue to read them. It's just a spacing thing. I don't have the space for all of it, and so I'm making sure that I don't lose the opportunity to read these stories. So, having said that, guys, if this is your first time stopping by the channel, please do me a favor and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, and I'd really appreciate that. So today, I'm going to start off with sharing a couple books that I picked up, some manga, and then we're going to go into some indie titles. And so, first things first, guys, I am a huge Harry Potter fan. Y'all know that. You've seen in some of my other videos that I picked up the Harry Potter illustrated books. Chris, Cookie, over at Just a Little Podcast was telling me that the artist that was doing them stopped at book 5. So we're missing book 6 and 7, and I'm so devastated because I wanted these as a collection, and now it's just kind of thrown off, and it's just so sad. But he stopped for some mental health issues, and so we wish him the best. But I was able to pick up 2 of those recently. This is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. This book has one of the coolest moments ever that made me sob and cry like a baby at the end of this book. It is just absolutely fantastic. And I remember the first time I read it, it was probably right around 2004, 2005. I was just staying up all night because I was enamored with the book. My kids were asleep, my wife was asleep, and I was reading literally right underneath the crib where the little nightlight is on the wall, and I'm sitting there reading with the nightlight, and I got to that part, and it's just one of the coolest parts I've ever read in any book in my life. And I sobbed and I sobbed, and I was sobbing so bad, and I was trying to keep it down that my wife woke up and she's like, "What is wrong? Is everything okay?" And I told her, "I'm just reading Harry Potter." But this is an incredible story, and I'm really happy to have these illustrated copies. I hope they get finished. But not only did I pick up book 4 of Harry Potter, I also picked up The Order of the Phoenix, which is one of my favorite books. This book, Harry Potter's a little angry. He is really just getting everything thrown on him, and he can't catch a break. And the poor guy has no parents, no family, and all those that he loves. It's hard. I don't want to, if you haven't read it, go read it. But Harry Potter is incredible. Please, 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 please don't be one of those people that thinks they're written for kids, because you will miss one of the greatest stories told. The way that she articulates, the way that she pulls things together and makes things in book 5 match book 1, it is mind-blowing. Every time I read it, and I've done that over 25 times now, the whole series, I'm just blown away by how incredible her story is. The world that she created, the web that she spun, it's magical. And it's so deep that if you read it, if you think it's a child book, you will be happy and you will read it and it'll be fun. But when you get deeper and you see the meanings and understand the feelings of human beings and loss and bravery and courage and evil versus good, it is one of the greatest stories ever told. It is my favorite story ever told. So really happy to have this. And again, I hope they finish them. Okay, next, I am a Dragon Ball Z fan. I fell in love with it when I was a kid. It is one of the coolest things on this planet. I love manga. I love anime. I have since I was a kid. I'm enamored by Japan and its culture. But the only manga that I pick up and actually collect, I read a lot of it, but I do that digitally. I collect Dragon Ball Super, and so this is issue number 17, Dragon Ball Super. And by this time, guys, I don't know. I watch people make videos, and they do this whole power ranking thing. Goku versus Superman, versus One Punch Man, and I always think that they get Dragon Ball wrong. And I may make a video about that one of these days, because I remember being like a little kid in the 90s watching Dragon Ball and being like, nothing compares to this. And then it's just gotten so powerful and so incredible that they really can't show you that on the TV, on the page, in the theaters. And so I need to break that down one of these days. But this story is so much fun. Goku is such a cool character. Dragon Ball Z is one of the life-changing stories written that has made every other manga matter. Without this, nothing else is out there. Nobody else is a manga fan. So I'm making sure I'm keeping up on my Dragon Ball Super. Okay, guys, back to your comics. I know a lot of you guys are just here for the comic books. This next one, thank you to John's Comics with Kids. It is an incredible story that I already own in a trade paperback. I own it digitally, but I saw this hardcover. I had to pick it up. It is a heart-wrenching, heart-moving story about a person that is going through a health issue and all of the fear, the courage, and everything that goes into battling that. Okay, this is Murder Falcon. Okay, this written incredibly, drawn incredibly. Most of you guys know Daniel Warren Johnson. He is absolutely incredible. He's done so much good stuff, but at first glance you think there's this bird and there's these rock guys, and if animals and comics and rock isn't your thing, you might want to pass this up. But just like Harry Potter, guys, this thing is deep and it's heart moving. You gotta read it. This thing made me sob quite a few times. And what's great about this story is you think one thing is happening and you're wrong. It's something else. So read it. It's so good, and I'm glad to have this one in this beautiful hardcover version. Okay, when I was a kid in the late 80s, like many of you, I fell in love with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I was thinking about one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made is not picking up a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. I had the opportunity to get a 9.0 white pages back in the day, and I got a different book instead. And I'm still kicking myself because this book has just gone insane. But I had never read the book, so I picked them up digitally, really started enjoying it. And I thought, now that I'm getting into collecting Omnis, this would be a great one to collect. And when I found out they're doing issue 2 and issue 3 of these compendiums, I had to grab this one. I've already pre-ordered 2, and I know 3 is coming out soon. So this is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle compendium, and this is volume 1. And what's really cool about this is you're going to get the original OG Ninja Turtle stories, and it's issues 1 through 7, and they skip 8 because I think there is a copyright issue with, I can't remember what character it is. Some of you will know. Please let me know in the comments below. Usagi Yojimbo, maybe there's somebody else, but I think they had to skip that one because they didn't have the rights to it, and they put it in there anyways. Then also issues 9 through 14, Raphael, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Leonardo micro series one-shots, Fugitoid #1, and the Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1 through 5. So this is like getting you into the Turtles, and I just thought this would be a really cool pickup. So I grabbed this one. Like I said, I've already pre-ordered issue #2. So those are my indies books, guys. Any of you Murder Falcon or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans, Dragon Ball Z or Harry Potter fans, let me know in the comments. Okay, let's get to Marvel, guys. I got some Marvel stories. I've gotten rid of a couple of these issues, so I had to fill in. Let's start off with Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars. Y'all know this is a OG story. This tells about where Spider-Man gets his symbiote suit from. They're all fighting on Battle World. Doom becomes a god, pretty much beats up the Beyonder. Just such a cool story. I sold all of I used to have quite a few copies of this raw. I've sold them over the years, and I thought I need to make sure I have this in a form that I can read in hand. So I picked this one up. I actually got this one from my comic shop here in Texas. So there is Secret Wars. Great story. This next one I got rid of recently, the Planet Hulk storyline. I got rid of all the single issues This is a great story, Planet Hulk, and this leads us into World War Hulk. The World War Hulk Omni is crazy, it's insane, it's expensive. They haven't redone it, so I'm hoping they redo that soon. This one just came out a couple months ago, and so I'm hoping that I can get World War Hulk in a new Omni here pretty soon. But great story, guys, Planet Hulk. It's when the Illuminati send him off to space, try to get rid of him because he's just too dangerous to be on Earth. He crash lands on a planet. You guys saw that in Thor Ragnarok, and falls in love, has a kid, and then all that's taken from him, and he's ticked, and that's where World War Hulk starts. So really excited to have that, and I want to jump into that because I haven't read it for a while. Okay, these next three are really cool. I have not read all of these stories, but I've started them, and I want to share it with you because I started reading the trade paperbacks. I got through issue 1 and 2, and they're so good, and then so much has come from it that I just had to pick it up. So this first one is Ultimate Spider-Man #1, and this collects Ultimate Spider-Man 1 through 39 and a half. This is an alternate version of Peter Parker. So here's issue 1. Here is issue 2. I've got issue 3 on pre-order, and this one collects 40 through 71 and Ultimate 6 1 through 7. At the end of this story, like you've seen in the Spider-Verse movies with Miles Morales, this Peter Parker passes away and dies. So, what comes next? Miles Morales Spider-Man. So I am just so stoked to get into this. The only reason I know these things is because of the movies, but I've purchased these so I can digest them, read them, take them in, learn the stories. They started out so good, and I'm very excited to get into them. So I had to make sure that I got these. All right, this next one is a book that I was picking up in single issues. I actually have the single issues, and I'll be selling those soon. Great story. When this character first came out, there was a lot of hate. We had Jane Foster Thor, we had Amadeus Cho Hulk. We had these new age characters, and some of them, frankly, were ridiculous, and I didn't like which way Marvel took them. But this character, I really fell in love with her. She's pretty cool, pretty epic, pretty awesome. So let me introduce you guys to the all-new Wolverine. That's Laura Kinney, X-23, who becomes Wolverine after Logan is killed in Death of Wolverine story. This is so good up until the end. It's great. Issues 1 through like 25. 25 to 35 for me are a little corny, gets a little cheap, and I guess the series ends because of that. But this is a great read. I suggest you guys read it. So much fun, so much cool, so much power. And Laura, she's awesome. Okay, if you guys know me, you know my favorite story of all time is the Infinity Gauntlet. It's just what I grew up with. It was hot back then. I got the comics. Thanos was cool. The snap was mind-blowing, made me cry. It just, my goodness, it was hardcore. And because of that, I just loved all the Infinity stuff. So when I first got back into collecting as an adult, I got the books that I had and I started wanting to fill in and finish runs. So I filled in and finished Infinity Gauntlet. And that's not just the 6 issues of Infinity Gauntlet. That is every tie-in and crossover, okay? I think I had something like 65 books in that run. Then I'm like, okay, well, Infinity Gauntlet's done. I got to get Infinity War. I did that. I currently have those for sale. So if you need that whole story, I've got it for you. And then I didn't stop there. I also did Infinity Quest. And so I did that one. That one actually recently sold some pretty cool books in that, some pretty hot covers in that collection. And I sold all of those. You know, in my past Omni haul video, one of the first Omnis I grabbed was Infinity Gauntlet. But I had been waiting because Infinity War and Infinity Quest are kind of expensive. So I couldn't find them for a price that I was comfortable with. You can always find them on eBay, but they're marked up 2 times, 3 times more than they should be. Well, Battle World Comics on Instagram, he actually sold me a couple of these Ultimate Spider-Mans. He also sold me these next 2. No, this next one. I got Infinity War from him. So there it is. I finally got this. Like I said, I have this one for sale in the single issues. I think there's 67 books that I'm selling with those. And there's 66 books in this collection. So I'm super happy to have this. And finally, at a good price, I've got this in the collection. This next one I got from Cheap Graphic Novels, and they said these are pretty expensive on there still, but this one was damaged, they said. And I looked it over, and I mean, I can't find any damage. And so they said they had this damaged one they were going to sell to me for like 50 something bucks. I picked it up, Infinity Crusade. There it is. I already sold all those issues, so now I have this so that I can read it whenever I want to. So I'm super happy to now have the 3 Infinity stories, the OG Infinity stories. There's a few new ones that I need to get, but happy to have those. And this just makes me giddy, guys. I just love the amount of stories that this world has produced. If we aren't the only ones out there in the universe, I'll tell you what, we've got some cool stories for people to come to our Earth and to read and to see what we as humans have produced. I'm just real grateful for the people that put this stuff together. And I hope we can tell our own stories too. All right, I got 2 left. This next one I got at Cheap Graphic Novels. This is a story I have not read, but I've heard it's incredible. And so because I've heard it's incredible, I want to read it. And that is The Superior Spider-Man. This is a story where Doc Ock takes over Peter Parker's body. And a lot of people say this is their favorite version of Spider-Man. So, cool suit. Pretty awesome. I'm really excited to see how the heck Peter lost his body. I kind of know a little bit about it, but I want to read it in depth. How Doc Ock takes over and what he does while he's in Peter's body and what's up with Peter's conscience. Where's he at, right? So, really excited to read Superior Spider-Man. And this last one is a shout out to my friend Trix on Instagram. Trix is a great guy. I love the way he thinks. I love things he believes in. And I won this Avengers Assemble by Bendis and Bagley. It's a little hardcover of issues 1 through 8 of Avengers Assemble. I actually have not read this, and I see Thanos back there. I love Thanos. He's this awesome villain. So Trix, thank you, brother, for being so generous, for giving things away to the community. I appreciate you, and I'm super happy that I won this. So there it is, guys. That is my Marvel / indie / Dragon Ball / Harry Potter haul. Thank you for sticking through to the end. I really appreciate you guys. And stay tuned. I got a couple other videos coming out here pretty soon. But guys, I really appreciate you. Thank you for everything. As always, I will talk to you later. And this really is Mischief